Professor Gurbuz Aktas is a known ethnochoreologist from Turkiye, popularly known as Turkey. He was a professor of dance teaching in Ege University for many years. He has been with us for the last 3 months now. He has taken classes, he has held special sessions on different areas of dance, on researching dance, on philosophy of dance, aesthetics of dance, etc. At the same time, there is much to know about him, much to know about his ideas on various other arts as well. We will try to know more about him. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Professor Gurbuz Aktas.
Yes.
We know that you have started your career as a musician. So can you tell us something about the beginnings of your career as an artist?
Beginning my career actually started around 10 years of age. I was 10 years old. I was already playing drums.
Okay.
I did not study any music,
Okay.
but I was playing drum. That naturally came to me.
Okay.
And I found myself being very close to music all the time. Wherever the music was played, I found myself standing by the drummers.
Okay.
All the time.
Okay.
So I don't know when I started playing drum.
Okay.
I did that like that. And then in my middle school, it's called middle school then. Now it's the numbers, like 8 years, 9 years.
Okay.
Middle school, I was already playing professionally.
Okay.
But at the same time, I was playing drum for the dancers. And dance took my attention little by little, more than my playing drum.
Okay.
So I was also playing other instruments, like I played accordion, and I also played string instruments in Turkish. In Turkish, we call it saz, or a bağlama family, which has like 6 different kinds. So I played that a little bit, but they were just for myself. It's like I didn't do it professionally, but drum was professional instrument for me. And when I became like 18, I was already a teacher of teaching dance, traditional dances. My traditional dancing was originated from Azerbaijan and Northern Caucasus, and also Turkish dances within Anatolia, what we called, which is called Turkey right now, and Turkish folk dances. That's how I started naturally, and I found myself more towards dancing, but in my town, which was all the way in eastern Turkey, called Kars, there was no school to go to learn dance or study dance. For a while, it was like this, and then I moved to extreme west. From extreme east to extreme west, there was a conservatory, dance and music conservatory, state conservatory, but I was already around 16, 17. They couldn't accept me for a classical dancing. What I did, I went to what we call youth centers, state youth centers. There, started teaching my area's folk dancing. That's how I started. And then from there on, I was teaching in different places as well. And then, because of my teaching and my dancing, I was invited to National Opera Ballet to dance for them for the character dancing. Because the ballet people did not learn, they learned classical dance, ballet, but they did not learn character that much, only little. And depending on the ballet, which character dance was supposed to be danced, and they didn't really have enough male dancers, so they invited me, also several of my friends, but I stayed there with another friend for a couple of years. there I decided to become more professional and to study what the dance is about.
Okay.
And then from there, I moved to San Francisco in US and started a music and dance college, but I registered the ethnology department. Dance it's called ethnochoreology. Dance ethnology, it's called ethnochoreology. That's how my profession started. From there on, I became, I danced professionally there also.
Yeah.
I found a company, was called Kafka's Dance Company. I also danced for several different ballets. Thereon, I became
a professor of dance.
A professor of dance.
Yes.
Actually started after my research.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you tell us something more about ethnochoreology? Because today you are a known ethnochoreologist. So
Yes.
Can you tell us more about this area of inquiry?
Ethnochoreology, simply, very simply telling, is a study of ethnic dances.
Okay.
I research about cultures through their dancing. And their dancing has structure and function. We go through structure and function to study, to analyze what those cultures, what qualities those cultures have. And this could be just about any dancing also. Ethnochoreology, even though it's called ethnochoreology, sometimes it passes the border and also studies dance in general. So in my study, this was a dance department in San Francisco State, that's where I went. I had a chance to choose between choreography, which was contemporary, and ethnic dances. I was more close to ethnic dances. I grew up as ethnic dancer anyway, so I chose that, which was the right decision for me. And from there on, I got my degree on dance ethnology. Dance ethnology is called dance ethnology in US, but ethnochoreology, later also called ethnochoreology in US also, it was called ethnochoreology in Europe. So dance ethnology and ethnochoreology is the same thing, it's just called differently in different countries.
Okay.
That's how it started.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would you tell us more about your experiences in Azerbaijan? What exactly did you do there? And
Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
Azerbaijan is, first of all, my roots are part of my family, grand family, came from Azerbaijan.
Okay.
The second, I grew up, all my childhood passed with Azerbaijani people.
Okay.
I spoke Azerbaijani language, and very well as my mother tongue.
Okay.
And in my last year of San Francisco State, I was in my BA last year, my counselor told me that I should probably continue my MA right away instead of giving any years around, like a gap. He said, go and also work on something that we don't have here. Present us something we don't have here. So automatically what came to my mind is my own culture. They did not have that. They had no idea what Azerbaijani culture, Azerbaijani dancing music was. So at the same time, because of my cultural work in US around San Francisco, I was invited to Azerbaijan by Azerbaijani government through a center, like this kind of center, and for 3 weeks. So I could go there, just be there. That I took that chance, turned into research.
Okay.
So what I did, I went to Azerbaijan, and I researched about the traditional dances that they had the oldest ones, like which traditional dance that I could present in US, as I could present it as project putting on stage. So there were several dancers. When I came back, I had a company already. I staged those dances, I wrote about them, and that became the graduation for me.
Okay.
That's how I started. And from there on, I noticed that I needed to study more, research more, because this was very little. 3 weeks wasn't enough. That was in 1990, October 1990. And then I was invited to also Uzbekistan at the same time. I also spent 3 weeks in Uzbekistan. I also studied their dances, but I did not go on that one. Only recorded and kept it as information. But I worked on Azerbaijani dances because I also did Azerbaijani dance. That's how I did. Later on, between when I moved back to Turkey, because I had an offer to become a faculty member in one of the state universities, Ege University is called. Ege University is a state university. I moved from San Francisco back to Turkey, and then I started my research in Azerbaijan again in 1999. From there on until 1919, right before COVID, I continued my research, and I turned into a little book about that. Documentary is going to come as a film later.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
We also know that your PhD is about theatre, incidentally. So in that sense, you combine music, dance, theatre, Azerbaijan, Turkey, Uzbekistan, now India. So
Hopefully
you
India.
combine so many parts of the world and at the same time so many arts. So would you explain what exactly was your PhD and how did you go about it?
Yes, that's an interesting thing. In Turkish, some of the Turkish dances are actually non-verbal theatrical dances. We already did those.
Okay.
And presenting the dance to tell a story. That's called non-verbal communication.
Okay.
And knowing that already, the proper name for this is like village plays.
Okay.
It's a theater, but it's a village theater. It's a traditional theater.
Okay.
So, but I also had the ballet background.
Okay.
Ballet also is a story, like a Swan Lake, like any other ballet would, like a Nutcracker. Yes, we tell story. So theater actually is presented through dance. As you know, in ballet, there is no verbal speaking or anything like that. When I moved back to Turkey, right before that, my MA was in interdisciplinary arts education. Interdisciplinary arts education gave me an insight saying that how can I combine all of these to teach, because they're all stage art. You do this on stage. And it should be something that it should basically bring my education much higher. So in Turkey, I went to another university, which had a very good, well-known theater arts department. And they accepted me. And theater arts started for me. And then I learned about Western theater. But I chose, again, dance within theater because in US, I had taught movement to theater artists, like acting artists, depending on exactly what their play is about. And so I thought movement to those, it was a students' club, and they were trying to get teacher to teach them how they could do movements. That's how it started. And then I finished that theater. Of course, when you do a PhD in theater arts, you're going to have to study a lot and learn Western theater, traditional theater. I went to, again, Turkish traditional theater. Around that time, before that, I already met with Indian culture in San Francisco, because there is a big community. That's how I know a little bit about Indian culture and theatrical dances of India also.
So I will come back to Indian culture, but at this point, in certain sense, in Gandhian Centre for Philosophical Arts and Sciences, Manipal Academy of Higher Education, we also do this interdisciplinary arts education, which you mentioned just now.
Yes.
Interdisciplinary arts education. Would you please explain in more details what exactly is your notion of interdisciplinary arts education, and why do you think that it is necessary?
Well, I think I give a simile about this.
Okay.
You know, critical thinking.
Yeah.
If you learn critical thinking,
Okay.
then you are able to analyze
Okay.
and just get more insight about any subject.
Okay.
And this is for literature. Critical thinking, as you know,
Yes.
you've done this before.
Yes.
I took that as in the arts education.
Okay.
Art is created by human, us,
Yes.
created by artists. And if it is altogether, it's more beneficial. Why I chose interdisciplinary arts education? Because I was already an artist,
Yes.
artist of dance and music. And what I needed to know that how I could combine this in my teaching, because I was becoming a teacher, how I could combine this and how I can train students, introducing them different parts of the art. As art is not just one, as you know, which you have here, which is really good. Now we have our students here. They know how to take a video. They know how to take
Yes.
film.
Yes.
They know how to present that. They
Yes.
know how to turn that into a documentary.
Yes.
But artists, just being a dancer does not do that.
Yes.
So to have a complete education, I think one should take interdisciplinary education to learn about other art forms. This is the main reason I have taken. And in fact, when I was researching in Azerbaijan, I only had one little Canon camera, and I took pictures, of course, in this cave called Gobustan. Gobustan is like from 4,000, 5,000 BC, original carvings. I took the original carvings. Some of the photos came out flu, which was not good. I noticed that I didn't know how to use the camera. That was one of the main reasons that I did. But after completing my education in interdisciplinary arts education, I knew how to edit, how to use camera, how to take a video, how to turn that into a basic documentary, even if I was just alone. So this was a good education. So I actually preferred, and I would suggest to other students to take this. Interdisciplinary arts education is very good for them.
Yes. Thank you. So in fact, we know this is one of your significant books.
Yes, yeah.
We can also make out certain words like catharsis, genesis, happiness.
Yes.
But we can't make out anything else because it is primarily in Turkish language.
Absolutely.
Would you tell us something more about this? And how do you connect this catharsis, genesis, and happiness?
Happiness.
Yes.
May I have that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, sure.
This is my last book.
Yeah.
You know, I always talk about, when it comes to dance, structure and function.
Yeah.
Dance is all about actually structure and function. Of course, function diverse, like so many different kinds you could get. Structure is around. When it's structured, it's combined with function. You cannot separate these two apart. I have noticed that dancing helps people, contributes to our life, contributes to society, contributes to, as a function, health. And in San Francisco State, when I was studying, I met with somebody was taking dance and movement therapy. At that time, it took my attention and said, what is this about? And it was about one of the major, most simple thing, healing.
Healing. Yeah.
To heal yourself. Once I learned that you could heal yourself through dance, I said, why can't I do this? And because I know already dancing made people happy, dancing made people relax. They release their tension, they release their anxiety. So many things are written in this little book that it is called Dance Movement Therapy, but underneath, subtitle is Catharsis, which is the purification.
Yes.
Genesis is the regeneration to yourself, your body, and if you took it up to societal level, you generate your society through dance. Like I said in one of my lectures, I stood up and I said, okay, hold the hands and do this, and all of a sudden people were just like, I saw their eyes, they were just so happy to do dancing. Dancing does this. And also happiness. How can you describe happiness? Happiness describes itself already. So I put this small title, subtitle, saying that dancing will purify you, will generate you, and will make you happy.
Okay.
This little book is about that.
Yeah. Possibly that also sums up the philosophy of dance, the purpose of dance. But on this particular aspect, would you also like to elaborate more? So the final purpose of dance, and what does possibly dance mean to you? So all along, what did dance mean to you, and what does it mean to you? About the purpose and philosophy of dance. You did touch upon this in many places, but finally, just to sum up.
Yeah, of course. So many years gave me an experience about dance.
Okay.
First of all, it was only a movement.
Okay.
Just a movement. I loved moving.
Yes.
That's one thing.
Yeah.
Later, it became meaningful. My students and wherever I give conferences, they ask me this very particular question.
Okay.
What is difference than sports? How do you differ dancing from sports?
Okay.
It's a very good question. And all our books write this. When does a basic marching become a dance? Or can it become a dance? My answer is always this. If you put a meaning into dance, if you put take the function and just polish it with the meaning, that sport could become dance and you can put that on stage. One example, we play football, or a gymnast, basic rhythmic gymnast, they use movement and they use music, but we don't call that a dance. However, ice skating, dance, competition is called competition of ice dance, because they do the movement and they have the interpretation through movement. So we read something from there. And their philosophy behind this, to present something, what their lifestyle is about. But in the tradition is already, for example, Kathak, for example, Bharatanatyam, Yakshigana I've learned here in this place. They all have some kind of philosophy behind. They're telling the story, but story tells a story within itself. That's one thing. Another one is the aesthetics, of course. When you talk about dance, you always have to talk about aesthetics. That goes into music, movement, all together in costumes, and more than this, I always repeat this many times. Dance is all about structure and function. I ask the same question to my MA students. I said, what does dance mean to you? What does function mean to you? The basic answer he gave me, he said, what contributes to me? So dance contributes so much in our life, so much to us. Health, whatever you call entertainment, whatever you say, I'm counting maybe 6, 7 of them now, is actually more into it. That's how I started. My purpose was to bring this philosophy out wherever I go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Finally, so this is your first visit to India.
Yes. Yes.
Your impressions about India, Indian arts, whatever you have seen, experienced, your impressions about Manipal, Manipal Academy of Higher Education, and finally on Gandhian Centre for Philosophical Arts and Sciences.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Big
may
questions.
start with
Big questions.
one.
Big questions.
So that is the
By
final,
the way.
final
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
First of all, this is not my first time that I was introduced to Indian culture.
Yeah.
But I thought I knew so much about Indian culture, knowing some famous people also, and having so many friends as my classmates, Indian. And my first Indian dance teacher, Chitresh Das, I'm remembering him. He passed away very young. He was well-known Indian dance teacher. He taught Kathak, by the way. That was my first time. It is very interesting because Indian dances, classical dances, one part, and traditional regional dances, other part. There is Rajasthan, there is Odyssey, there is Yakshagana here, there is other types of regional dances that I have not met yet. Hopefully I will. But just going back to Kathak and Kathakali and Bharatanatyam, these are world-known dances. They were just always taking attention because they are very well structured and they take so much to learn. I knew that I couldn't learn these dances because I already did my dancing. This was my thing. And then when I came here, I've noticed that, oh my God, this culture is so big. It's what I have known is only one drop in the ocean. So now I'm learning more, and that is actually started with Manipal.
Okay.
For me, although I went to Bangalore and Delhi for 2 weeks, I traveled around. I noticed that my mind was in Manipal, and as a university, Manipal University has a very, very good, well-organized education, very good campus. And this was very, I became happy to come here than other maybe big universities that I've known in the States and this, just because I have seen here students, I watch students, how they act, how they do what they do. And I read like basic happiness on their faces. The campus has provided this for them. And as you know, I went to several different departments also. And but that started with Gandhian Centre. Gandhian Centre has a very significant meaning for me because we also have Atatürk Center in Turkey. Atatürk is the founder of our republic, and Gandhi is the founder of this country. Freedom, peace, very important. First thing you think is the freedom. This is what the significant about Gandhian Centre. Then, interdisciplinary arts education here in Gandhian Centre. I didn't expect, because we in Turkey, we don't have a teaching and we don't present degree in centers. They're just institutes doing the research.
Yeah.
But here is more significant because you also, students also apply here to pursue degree, which is very important, and they are free to study anything they want. And for me, it was like interdisciplinary arts education already here. Maybe one or two things could be added, but I'm sure in 10 years it's went this much. In another couple of years, it will go even more. So,
Thank you so much.
thank you.
I thank you on behalf of all my students and faculty members, students of ecosophy, aesthetics, peace studies, and art media. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Namaste. And this is, I also thank you for giving me this chance. And starting with Gandhian Centre made me more comfortable to go around and talk even more. Thank you.